Next question.
Yeah, just in terms of MDMA, Michael Pollen's book, he sort of sets aside MDMA and talks about psilocybin and LSD. Could you make the clarification? Because I have sort of now a judgment about MDMA and thinking that psilocybin, LSD, which I've experienced, take away the ego, you can dissolve the ego state and so on, whereas MDA is more of a body, sort of a physical thing, but maybe I'm misunderstanding.
Okay. Thanks for your question.
I mean, I think, certainly in Michael Pollen's example in the book, part of it was that he had medical issues that made him especially wary to deal with MDMA, and I think that certainly with MDMA there are potentially there's a greater physiological impact, and so there's more of a kind of a concern for that coming up as opposed to psilocybin or LSD, which psychologically can be much more intense in an experience, but physically have much less risks. And then, I mean, I think, I think that they are both can be very, if we think of kind of the LSD, psilocybin, possibly ayahuasca as one category, and then MDMA as something similar but slightly different. They do different things, and they can both be very effective, but in different ways. And I think, for one, I think that with MDMA, because it is psychologically it's much gentler for some people who maybe don't have a lot of experience previously with psychedelics, or who are have a lot of anxiety or trepidation about what could come up. That it could be a lot easier and feel safer and a good kind of entryway into that to use the MDMA as opposed to these others. I think. I guess I do think they can just kind of they can work in very different ways, and I think there's a certain kind of processing that can happen with MDMA that's very similar to what could happen, as Jane mentioned, in kind of more traditional talk therapy. But I think it's rare to get the sort of ego dissolution or the kind of very profound sort of spiritual experiences that could be had with these other substances. And so some of it, I think, comes down to as well kind of what a person is looking for, what their intentions are, and what they think would be most helpful towards reaching that. So, I don't know, anybody?
Briefly, and then we'll go to the next question.
I would just like to, the other thing with MDMA is that there are a lot of adulterants that are out there, and the people I talk to say that it is difficult to be sure that you're getting a quality product that isn't adulterated in some fashion, and that creates a whole other set of issues. I just wanted to mention that. Be really careful about where you source your MDMA.
That's a good place to inject. How do people test about dance safe, or could somebody speak to that?
We have a dance safe person of 10 years who's been working in dance safe who recently told us that there is no safe set of tests. That there are 30 different kinds of fentanyl, for instance.
No, but the question is, how do people test their own substance?
Well, I have no idea.
You can get test kits from dancesafe.org, but I think it's also important to understand that each test is testing for something different, and you don't always know what you're looking for. It could be cut with something that you don't know to test for.
Thank you. There's a question down here.
Portland Psychedelic Society and Oregon Psilocybin Society are proud to announce Paul Stamets speaking at the Newmark Theater in Portland, Oregon, September 20th. Tickets go on sale July 24th.